Welcome inside the Texags studios on a Saturday night for the very first time. We've been doing this show on the field, either at Kyle Field or at a stadium across the SEC or back in the Big 12 days since the man to my immediate left was still playing football. Yes. So it's been a while since we've been doing the post-game wrap on Texags.com. But for the first time ever, the post-game wrap is a free presentation. Thanks to our good friends at Tom Light Chevrolet, and you can shop online anytime at tomlight.com. Tom Light Chevrolet presents the Texags post-game wrap, and for the first time ever, it's televised. Also, for the first time ever, the post-game wrap features former A&M DB, former NFL defensive back, Texags' own Jordan Pugh joining us in studio. Yes,
sir.
Right after the game, Jordan.
Yes, sir.
You know, post-game, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm a little hot and sweaty. Had to run over here last minute. A little hot and sweaty, but I made it, man.
Jordan realized what? You played the game.
Yes.
And so you got to hang out, do your post-game interviews after the games, grab yourself some food, kiss your parents, take the pictures with the kids, sign the autographs. And all the rest of us are stuck in traffic.
Exactly.
Well, now here's Jordan Pugh.
Wow.
Guess what he did today?
Wow.
Got himself stuck in traffic before the show.
Yes, I did.
But you ran over here, JP.
I made it work.
You made it work,
You know
brother.
I couldn't miss it, man. In studio,
absolutely.
I take it every time I can get it. You know that.
You better believe you do.
You know that.
And this game, and this wrap is not necessarily about diving into all of the stats. We're just kind of getting our eyes on these stats, actually. This is immediately after the game. It's more about the emotion. And for a guy who played not even on that soil, but in the same vicinity, the same property, the same geography, right? You played there, but you really didn't play there. Across the street. That thing's a thing of beauty. So I wanted to start. A&M won the game 56-23. A&M could have hung 100 on Ball State. Yes. There are going to be people that have concerns because A&M gave up a bunch of yards and points in the second half where they weren't dialing anything up. The goal was to stay healthy and get the heck out of here. That game was over in the first quarter. So I wanted to start, though, before we really dove into the game, with the stadium. The stadium opened for business. 104,213 came out to watch the Aggies take on Ball State to open this season. What did you think about that venue?
Wow. Well, first off, the venue was beautiful. I mean,
pull that mic up a little bit, JP.
Oh, that's the only way that you can do it. The venue was just beautiful. I mean, you can't, to me, I may be a little biased, but to find a place that's better than that to play college football, you can't beat it. You know, from the facilities, we already know about the facilities for the football team. I mean, that's hands down. You already know that. And then just walking around, man, you seeing the different zones and just the renovated seats and the sound system, you name it. If you're a high school player in the state of Texas, why would you not want to be at Texas A&M? When you look at that stadium, I mean, it has everything that you want. If you're a fan, it has everything that you want. And plus, I didn't see it, but I heard about like maybe a 12-foot-long hot dog or something too as well.
It's a 12-pounder.
12-pound.
Hot dog.
There it is. See?
I'd like to see you take that thing down.
Let's go. You know I'm up for the challenge.
4 foot long.
Let's do it. You already know I'm up for the challenge. But you look at the stadium, I mean, it's something you can't beat. I mean, it's top of the line. It's the best thing. You know, when you walk through there being a former player, it's something that you get kind of jealous of. It's like, man, we could have had this when I was here. But you know what's nice, man, is good to be a part of, and you just love to see it.
Oh, it was great. It was awesome. And the cool thing is the 12th man sure hadn't gone anywhere. The place was loud. You take the 12th man, and then you infuse it with all of this newness, all this brilliance. When you're a high school football player, and you're choosing, especially what's going on in Austin, there couldn't be a worse time for what's going on over there for Texas or a better time for what's going on over there for Texas A&M because you further extend the pendulum and that gap between Texas and Texas A&M, which is already a chasm. You further extend that. Recruits come here, they see what Chief is doing defensively. Recruits come here, they see what's happening with all the facilities, with the administration and with the commitment to greatness and excellence and trying to win a championship, multiple championships in football. More and more are going to jump on the board here.
I mean, you can't. I mean, why would you not want to jump on board? Like you said, if you're a kid in high school, why would you not want to be here? And plus, you see the changes that are going on. And ever since I've been in school, really, it's always been like this. You want to build a winning tradition. You're seeing it take form right now.
Yeah.
So if you're seeing it take form right now, why would you not want to join in on the party? I mean, you got to join in on the party. So when you look at that, man, you look at what they're doing offensively, defensively, how the special teams are popping. You look at the 12th man, the new stadium, new facilities, new uniforms, whatever it is. It's something you just got to be a part of.
Let's talk about the game a little bit. Texas A&M scored 49 points in the first half.
Yes, they did.
Scored on every possession except one. They did punt one time,
right.
But also had a pick six from Devontae Harris, who continues to play well in the new scheme. A&M had 360 yards in the first half. They allowed 74 yards on the first two plays.
Yes, they did.
From scrimmage. Defensively.
Yes, they did.
But after that, allowed 28 yards the rest of the half. It was a completely dominant effort on both sides of the football until A&M called off the Dogs. Your thoughts?
I tell you what, the best thing that ever happened to our defense was getting those first two plays out of the way. Because you look at the Arizona State game, they really didn't face any adversity. They had some here and there, but the first two plays of the game against Ball State, I mean, the adversity was right off the top.
Yep.
And then you saw what they did with the remaining plays. They held them out of the end zone, held them to 3. That's a victory for the defense.
That's all it took, too.
And so when you look at it, you look at the first two, what is it, 78 yards on the first two plays?
74.
74 yards on the first two plays, and you hold them. It's really guys just being out of the gap. That's a simple fix. But that was the best thing. You saw how the defense responded. Then you look at the next, 2 or 3 drives, maybe 8 yards total in 3 plays. The average around there somewhere. You look at the pick six.
7 yards the next 4 drives total.
There you go. 7 yards. So when you look at that and then you look at the pick six, these guys responded. And it was great seeing them respond after the adversity came. That's what you want to see.
We'll continue to break it down when we come back. It's the TexAgs postgame wrap, a presentation of Tom Light Chevrolet on CWA Daggieland and TexAgs.com. Hey, welcome back to the TexAgs postgame wrap, presented by Tom Light Chevrolet. Shop, click, and drive. Shop online anytime at TomLight.com. It's Gabe, Bach, and Jordan Pugh. We're breaking down Texas A&M's 56-23 win over Ball State.
Yes.
To kick off the home schedule of the 2015 season. And we're back.
There you go. There we go. Back live.
This is a cool note, Jordan. The Aggies' winning streak against non-conference opponents.
Okay.
Did you know that it leads all of FBS?
Really?
A&M's winning streak against non-conference opponents tonight improved to 18 games in a row. 18 straight wins against teams not in their own conference, and that is the last non-conference loss was Arkansas in 2011. Well, Arkansas now, of course, is a conference opponent.
Yeah.
That was when it was a non-conference opponent, 2011. Well, I went back and looked at it.
Wow.
And I said, when's the last time A&M lost to a team that wasn't in their conference? Because you're going to lose conference games,
right.
Big 12
exactly.
otherwise, obviously. There were good teams in there.
Right.
So when's the last time A&M lost to a team that either wasn't an SEC team, because you lost to Georgia, 2009.
Yeah, we did.
A&M lost the 2010 season, 2011 Cotton Bowl to LSU.
Yes.
Lost in 2011, 2010, and 2009 to Arkansas.
Right.
Well, what do all those teams have in common? They're in the SEC. So I started looking back at it, and I said, when's the last time A&M lost to a team that wasn't either an in-conference team, either a Big 12 or an SEC team when A&M was in that conference, or an SEC team as a non-conference game? Mm-hmm. You played in the game. That's how long ago it's been.
The last time we lost.
To a team that wasn't either in the SEC or the Big 12. 2008, Robert Marv and Miami came in here about the third game of the year in 2008. I
was just about to say that. Yep. I was about to say the Miami game. Yep.
Think about how long it's been since A&M lost to a team that either wasn't in their own conference, Big 12, or in the SEC in general.
Right.
That's some dominance outside of conference play. We're talking about winning bowls consecutively.
Yeah.
And taking care of your non-conference
That's something that you got to look at, man. You know, you look at the non-conference schedule, that's something that's important. Of course, conference, everybody knows conference is important. You got to take care of the in-house thing.
Right.
But when you look at non-conference, man, you look at that, and you're talking about 2008? Really? That was the last time? I mean, that's excellence. You talking about that's winning, and then you look at how they're playing on the road. You're going to play some non-conferences on the road, and so you look at that and how they're winning on the road. Man, that's something where you look at consistency, and that builds tradition. It builds a winning tradition. You got to hold on to that.
And you're supposed to step on the field and demolish Ball State. I get that.
Yes, you have to.
But I know there's some takeaways here. There was some sloppy play. I didn't like the way A&M came out of halftime. I didn't like the way the backups played defensively. I didn't like the way the offense played in the second half with backups in. You know what? Injuries happen and backups have to go play and win games in the SEC.
Right.
There are some things to nitpick about. But you know what, Jordan? The point is it was an easy win on a night where others clearly would have taken what A&M got.
Right.
What are they thinking in Fayetteville right now, which lost to a MAC West team in the same division of the same conference as Ball State, and I bet Ball State gives Toledo trouble. What are they thinking? They're panicking on the plains as Auburn needed yet another rabbit's foot and a miracle just to get by Jacksonville State, and I bet Ball State would beat Jacksonville State.
Yeah. Yeah. When you look at it, first off, the Arkansas loss, I mean, that shocked me. Of
course.
I'm like, Toledo? Wow. Auburn, Jacksonville State, really? But, hey, I mean, it is what it is. That's why you play the game, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You look at
Still
our
had to
game.
roll the ball out here and win this game.
Yeah. Now, when you look at our game against Ball State, let's look at the first string, guys. You expected that. 49-3 at halftime. That's what it should have been.
Yep.
All right? Now, you look at the second string. That's where you had your ups and downs. It's expected. Those guys, they don't play as much. They're trying to get their feet wet. You know, we look at defensively, they gave up too many big plays in the second half.
Yep.
You know, especially to the passing game. Running game was okay, decent.
Yep. I like that Kwame Etway. And I think Dolezal's pretty good.
Yeah. And then we look at offensively, we were way too inconsistent especially coming out of halftime. You know, with Murray coming in, you saw what it was like being a freshman. You know, he had his highs, he had his lows, but that's a learning experience. That's what you take from these games. So when you look at 49-3 at half, 56 to what was it? 23, 23 at the end of the game. That's the highs and lows that you get with the second and third string guys. That's something that you can improve on. But I think it's something that's good to get these guys' feet wet in a game like this with a lead like you have at the end of the game. So there's your highs and lows, there's your good and your bad, but the takeaway it all was a W, and that's all you care about.
Absolutely. Offensively, I thought Kyle Allen was unbelievable in this game. I thought he was unbelievable. He played about a quarter and a half. Kyle Allen goes 10 of 13, 126 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
A&M could have scored 100 in this game. Kyle Allen could have thrown for 1,000 yards in this game, I think, and 10 touchdowns. I mean, he was unreal.
Yes, he was.
Apart. And it was good to see him. I don't care if they're playing air. Good to see him continue what he started when he came back in for a third time in the fourth quarter of Arizona State.
I tell people this all the time. I've been saying it all year. You got to have one quarterback. The thing I was impressed about with Kyle was he came back and he took command of that offense after that Arizona State game.
Yes, he did.
Now you have Kyler. He comes in, and you got to give. I mean, Kyler can play. I mean, he's amazing.
You would know that. You went to Plano West.
He's athletic. You name it. But at the same time, you can't have somebody looking over their shoulder constantly.
Right.
And so when you saw Kyle come in, you saw him take command, you saw him lead his offense down on that first drive. I said, okay, he's got full command of this offense, and he had that chemistry with everybody. That was the most important thing.
Yep.
You saw him use his legs on the drive, too. I think he had a 15-yard run or whatever it was to escape the pressure and get out and make a play. And you saw him come into his zone today, and that's what I wanted to see, and that's what I like. I think you gotta go with one. If I'm coach, you gotta lean towards Allen. He's been there and he's done it.
Not just that, he had a lateral and then a running back pass.
Yes, he did.
He caught a pass for 28 yards.
Yes,
where
he
he
did.
had to do all of that with his legs.
Right.
That was a thing of beauty.
Right.
I love the trickeration.
You got to have the trick play. And then, of course, if you're Ball State, you're not expecting a trick play from Texas A&M. You're thinking just pound it, throw the ball. Hey, you got to have a little fun with it now.
Why would A&M show that against Ball State?
Right. Put it in the arsenal. Let teams know. You know, you got Kyler, but hey, Kyle can do it too. Why not? That's a perfect time to do it.
The Tom Light drive of the game. We'll do that when we come back. Your defensive player of the game, and we'll continue. We'll close it out when we come back. He's Jordan Pugh. I'm Gabe Bach. It's the Texags postgame wrap presented by Tom Light Chevrolet on CW8 Aggieland and Texags.com. Welcome back. It's the final segment of the Texags postgame wrap presented by Tom Light Chevrolet. Shop online anytime at TomLight.com. They dare you to try to find a better online price for a Chevy, and you can find it at TomLight.com. Check them out. Speaking of that, Tom Light drive of the game, JP, do you got one that sticks out in your mind? The Tom Light drive of the game.
Oh, first drive. You got to take that one. When you look at that, they're riding off the momentum that they had at the end of the Arizona State game.
Right.
We're talking offensively. And then you see what Kyle Allen did coming off, really, I guess you could say adversity that he faced in that Arizona State game. He came down, he took command of his team and drove him right down for the score. When you look at that, that's my drive. I love how they played as an offense. I love how the running game got going on that drive, the passing game, and I love the command of the quarterback. I loved it.
I love seeing Trey Carson run when he was when there were guys running free at him. Because the offensive line's still a concern for me.
Right.
I thought they...
Yes, that's very true.
I didn't think they dominated the line of scrimmage against a Ball State team that they should have. I remember Ifedi got beat for a free sack one time. I think Ifedi got beat a couple of times by that end.
Yeah.
And the left guard is still a situation. I love Avery Genesee. Let me just tell you right now, I love that left tackle. I think he's going to be a pro.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I bet Ifedi goes out this year, first or second round. And don't you kid yourself. I think Avery Genesee is going to be a first or second round pick.
Well,
I love the kid.
There's a reason why he's a left tackle and Ifedi's the right tackle.
Amen.
I mean,
because Ifedi's a guard.
You can say Ifedi, I was about to say he's a guard, but there's a reason why he's playing left tackle. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm with you. I have to agree with you. The O-line is a concern.
Yep.
It's a concern because I have not been impressed with the running game in the first two games. I just haven't. We haven't dominated. We haven't taken control of the running game.
Right. It's
something that it concerns me leading into SEC play. We got to get control of this. So, when you look at that, that's something that you got to take hold of. But, offensively, man, just today, the first time, of course, only 2 games in, I saw him clicking. Saw that first team offense clicking, and you want to keep that rhythm going.
Absolutely. Touchdown to start the game.
That's all you want.
At that point, A&M knew it was in the bag. It was about getting healthy.
Right.
Staying healthy. James White didn't suit out.
Right.
Drew Kaiser suited out. He kicked some 60-yard punts in the pregame.
Yeah.
I caught one on one hop. I was 5 yards behind the back of the end zone.
Right.
He was punting from the 50.
Exactly.
I'm like, man, this guy's got it. He's going to punt today. But they let Trapuka out of Allen High School go out there and kick. That was good. A couple other guys were out. Walker was out. Obi-Oha still out. It was nice. Oh, and suspended still, but coming back next week, which is great. 1 week before Arkansas, which suddenly looks a lot more attainable, is Henderson and Hilliard. But Alaka came back. Well, it's good to see that. And did you notice he played the Mike position?
Yes, he did. Yes, he
did.
And we're looking at, and we also saw Washington playing the Sam.
Yes, we did.
Playing the Sam. When you have, I love it that they had their guys back, their core back. So when you look at Washington and Locker, they played well off of each other. The guy who I really liked the most on defense was Washington. He was sideline to sideline all over the place. I think he, 7 tackles? 7 tackles, tackle for loss, whatever. Tackle for loss. And so when you look at him, man, he came into his own. Alaka was back. You can see the guys that when you're used to playing with a certain set of guys, you have a better chemistry, you have a better feel for where they're going to be, and you can play faster because you just have that relationship. And so seeing Washington and Locker back, it was big for the defense, getting the guys back off of suspension, getting Hilliard back. Then when you got Obi-Oha coming back, I think the D-line, they're gearing up for a strong run once this SEC play hits, and that's something that you want as a coach.
The defense in 2 games, 7 of 31 on third down. I don't know how that doesn't lead the nation.
Right.
We're just coming off the game, so I hadn't looked that up yet.
Right.
But that's 74 yards again on the first 2 plays, but after that, 28 yards in the first half, and then it was the first team had already hit the showers. They put on their hoodies out there. I saw Josh Reynolds and all these guys offensively, some defensive guys. They put on their hoodies.
He did.
Thing was over early, so I'm not too concerned about the second half. My Tom Light drive of the game was that second drive just because of the fun. I love throw to Carson, back to Allen for the 28 yards, but then that beautiful pass to Reynolds. Nice to see Reynolds get in the end zone again. Number 14 of his career. He had 13 last year, and he'll have a bunch more. Another thing I loved about Reynolds was they're lining him up all over.
Right.
I saw him on the left side for the very first time both games this year.
I tell you what, and I'm going to throw a curveball.
All right.
I tell you one concern that I have.
Okay.
Just one, and it's a good concern. How are we going to get our athletes the ball? Because that's a concern of mine. When you got Reynolds, Noyle, Kirk, Seals, it's like it's not enough balls to go around.
I thought Ricky played mad. I really liked the way he played out there tonight.
And that's what I'm saying. When you look at it, when Speedy finally, I think he got his first catch today.
He had a catch at the end of the first half last week.
Okay, that's why I missed that one.
Hold on, you're hitting the mute button there.
Oh, sorry about that.
You're good.
Yeah, so when you look at that, it's like, man, you got to find ways to get him into the athlete's hand. You just got to, man. There's so many athletes. There's so many home run hitters out there. That's one concern, but that is a wonderful concern to have if you're a quarterback. You just got to have that. And when Speedy got the ball tonight, I saw those flashes. Those flashes. I was like, yeah, there he is. Then Kirk, of course, just he is what he is.
Christian Kirk's a superstar.
Yep. And then, Reynolds, you saw the flash again. You saw that. You saw Seals, like you said, playing mad. You saw your core playing together. You saw the running game get going a little bit with Trey Carson. You saw Allen doing his thing. it's something that we just got to keep building on, and we got to find ways to get the balls to the athletes.
Kudos to two guys before we're out of here in about a minute and a half.
Let's do it.
Not very often do offensive linemen get touchdowns. Kwame Etwe ran for 116 yards on the night, had a huge run to get down to the one, and then tried to punch in, lost the football. It's in the end zone on the ground, and Coda Martin pounced on it.
Right.
Coda Martin with an offensive line, fumble recovery, and a touchdown. So kudos to Coda.
Oh, yeah. You got, man, you have to put him on SportsCenter. Every time a lineman gets a touchdown, he has to have his shining moment.
It was Tretola last year with a touchdown pass for Arkansas.
You got to have your shining moment. Give it to him. Give it to him. He worked hard. He blocked. He got the fall on it. Man, let him have his moment.
My player of the game defensively is Devontae Harris, because remember, a series before the pick six, and he jumped that route. A series before the pick six, he timed up another button hook comeback.
Yes, he did.
Perfectly to knock it loose.
Devontae is becoming everything that you wanted him to become. He's becoming a leader. He's making plays, and he's becoming a smart football player.
He is.
When I was sitting there watching the game, I said, they're doing quick game. Somebody has to sit on these routes. And the very next play, pick six. So you're seeing him turn his game around. You're seeing him become a complete and a full football player, and that's what you want to see if you're a coach.
Jordan, we got 30 seconds. Nevada's next. One more tune-up before Arkansas and Arlington in 2 weeks.
Right.
What are areas that you want to see from this team next week that gives you the most confidence about their ability the following week in Dallas?
Wow. I think we need to see the running game get going. We really need to see the offensive line dominate people like we're accustomed to seeing. I think we just got accustomed to seeing great offensive line play with the offensive line we've had come in. We got to see them take control of teams, push them back, dominate the running game, and let our quarterbacks run free and throw free.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the time. Thank you so much. The TexAgs postgame wrap presented by Tom Light Chevrolet on CW8 Aggieland and TexAgs.com.